Welcome everybody. We are live here from Hillside up here in Boston. There's Alan Matthews on the pole. That's Ryan Monaco. Stephen Thompson, John Gilbert, last week's winner from Pocono. That's Joey Murphy, Rick Johnson, Eric Monaco, and Andy Thomas. 2 cars last season almost won this event. Michael Haas, Dylan Schwallenberg, Cynthia Bright, Zachary Fitzwater, Eric Rodriguez, William Brock, Luis Hernandez, and Stephen Pollard. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing up here in Boston. Get you to the front, the back. You see a lot of cars from Knockout Cube making it. They're all back here near the back of the field. Actually, there's a couple that sneaked up, but you know, it's not going to be a big force. Stephen Thompson getting passed here by Joey Murphy. And here comes John Gilbert in that big Ford. Man, he got sideways right there. Gilbert battling with Stephen Thompson for second spot. Gilbert is now clear Joey Murphy to the lead, and Murphy has been one of the cars that's been really good here in the short tracks. Back-to-back winner at Rockingham in Sportsman. Winner at Auto Club this season. Battle between him and John Gilbert. These two battle a lot for the front of the field in a lot of races. It's been these two for a lot of races the past couple seasons. It's been these two up front. Gotta watch some cars though. You gotta watch Eric Monaco and Andy Thomas, both cars. Andy Thomas won this event last season. Drove the wheels off of that car. In battle for the lead, Joey Murphy trying to use the top. Look at this, 3 wide for the lead. Look at this new camera we got down here. Joey Murphy gonna keep the lead. Alan Matthews, his teammate, is going to battle with John Gilbert. Here comes Cynthia Bright. Eric Rodriguez, and we're going to let him fly. In just a moment, we're going to let him fly by us. 40 of the best cars in Sportsman battling. Robbie Jackson says he feels like his motor's blowing up. Not a good sign. Comes Eric Rodriguez to the front of the field. Him and Cynthia Bright. There's John Gilbert dropping back. Andy Thomas starting to creep in that number 60 Ford. Last season's winner starting to creep up to the front of the field. Rick Johnson going under Alan Matthews here. Matthews continues to lead. It's Hernandez Motorsports 1 and 3. It's Rick Johnson Enterprises, Hendrick Motorsports, Team SB Wood Brothers, Roush Fenway Racing, Ford Performance, Monaco Waltrip Racing, Hendrick Motorsports. Then it's Penske, and then it's Hernandez Motorsports, Monaco Waltrip, Penske, Team SB Wood Brothers, Richard Petty Motorsports. This 84 team is Chris Fontaine Racing, and Richard Petty Motorsports, Roush Fenway, Hendrick, Pollard Performance Incorporated, and Joe Gibbs, Germain, Monaco Waltrip, Richard Petty Motorsports, Richard Childress, Earnhardt Ganassi. Then it's basically the 72, and then it's Hernandez Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, Richard Childress Racing, Penske, Richard Childress, JTD Doherty, Ford Performance, the Vine Family Racing, Ford Performance, Stuart Haas Racing, Roush Fenway, Richard Childress, and Robbie Jackson Enterprises. As Rick Johnson has got to the lead, and he's starting to pull away a little bit from the field. This has actually been a fairly clean and green race here at Boston. Look at this angle. You can see all the fans in the stands. And you go right here into turn 3. You can see right there's the fairgrounds, the Boston Fairgrounds. Basically, the fair goes all around the racetrack. We'll show you right here. There's the Ferris wheels, and then down here is just a bunch of it's like a huge yard sale down through there on the back straightaway. So, but a lot of people selling like NASCAR memorabilia or ERL memorabilia, whatever you want to call it. As Rick Johnson has opened up the speed gates, and he was a car that could have won Richmond. And we haven't got halfway yet, so I mean, we can't be saying that Rick's got this thing locked up. We're not even halfway. As Phil Parker and Robbie Jackson battle for the back part of the field here. Battle for the lead. Alan Matthews, Rick Johnson. Alan Matthews to the point. Here comes Eric Rodriguez. Driving it in deep. Hasn't won a race since he won the Midsummer National. Cynthia Bright, the only Bright not on Richard Childress Racing. Cynthia is on Hendrick Motorsports in that Spy Optic Chevrolet SS. At the halfway point, look who's moved to battling for 4th spot. Annie Thomas, the defending champion of this race. Can Annie Thomas go back-to-back at Boston? Right now, Eric Rodriguez has got starting to pull away from Cynthia Bright. Dylan Schwallenberg starting to make his charge to the front of the field. Ash Curtis starting to march. We've got some cars back here in the back are starting to move up. Jeff Bright dropping back. Robbie Jackson's starting to pass some cars. Tony Newman just not having the season he would like. Last season was actually a contender at this racetrack. This season, I don't know. Caution! Big crash. Oh, Cody Lamas gets nailed. Jeff Bright just destroyed Cody Lamas' car. And the caution is out. Oh, man. First caution of the day comes at over halfway. Something happens to Cody Lamas. Oh, he gets into Pollard. Oh, Stephen Pollard gets into it. Oh, man. Samantha Oskin. Dang. You can see that hits Cody Lamas. I think Robbie Jackson might have hit him. Or Tony Newman. One of the two. Oh, yeah. Robbie got him in the door, I think. Yep, you can see it right here. Back in comes Crunch, Crunch. Oh, man. Tony Newman had to wheel that thing. He got hit hard in the door. The field has to catch up. Stephen Pollard's going to be done for the day, blowing up. So this changes everything. First caution coming out over halfway in the race. Matt Oskin probably done. We're going to get you to the green flag. Actually, this took the hood off. We're going to get you to the green flag here at Boston. Understand what brought the caution out. Lights on the pace car are off. Camshaft, piston, and an accident is what killed the 1548. But I mean, the 15 and 48 did also crash, so. See, down the back straightaway we go. Ferris wheels are going. The big Ferris wheel is not going right now. Two little ones are. everybody's having a fun time out here at Boston. And a beautiful race. You can see the American flag on the blimp flying over. Pace car is going to drive this thing hard down off the racing surface. Coming to the green flag. Green flag is in the air and we're racing again at Boston. Now here's where I said this changes everything. Because now everybody's right in the same wheelhouse. Oh man, Andy Thomas was sideways up on the top part of this racetrack. Now we got under 10 to go. And this is where this race last season kicked off. And look at Andy Thomas. Like a shark that smells blood. Andy Thomas is marching to the front of the field. Almost into the 88. Cynthia Bright to the bottom of the racetrack. Making a pass. On Eric Rodriguez, the top three are kind of pulling away. I think Andy Thomas would rather pass Eric Rodriguez than Cynthia Bright. Oh, look at Andy Thomas to the inside. Maybe going to make a charge here on Cynthia Bright. Last season's winner of this event. This season could possibly do the same thing. Battle for the lead. 3 wide for the lead. Eric Rodriguez sticking his nose into the battle. This is not what Andy Thomas wanted to see, as Andy gets a little loose, but to the point. The 60 leads again at Boston. Andy Thomas trying to drive this thing off the corners. Here comes Ash Curtis, all-time win leader. Here comes John Gilbert. Andy Thomas is going to have to block now. Gilbert to the bottom. Gilbert making contact. Cynthia Bright to the grass and into the wall. Bright back across the racetrack. Contact. Caution is out. And this is going to be the race. And Andy Thomas is going to go back-to-back at Boston. And we've got destroyed race cars all over the racetrack. I think that's the end of the race. Oh, we got cars just sitting right there. Phil Parker sitting. Oh, Dylan Schwallenberg kind of making an evasive action. He was going to hit Phil Parker. He was on an apron. He had to gun it to avoid him. Andy Thomas is going to victory lane. I think this race might not be over. Oh man, Robbie Jackson. Damage glitch, but we're going to go see what brought the caution out. We know what brought it out, actually. It's right here. Battle for second. Cynthia Bright goes for the lead, tries to make a pass. Andy Thomas throws a little bit of a block. And then John Gilbert just put the bumper to the 88 hard into the wall. That thing just had no steering after that. Gets into Isaiah Monaco and Will Goss and just tears some cars up. Oh, that's where the 4 comes in. I think the 17 is going to come in even later. Oh yeah, somebody got nailed back here. First race, I think, for the 17 car anyway. Yeah, the 17 came in really late in this. Oh, he had nowhere to go. I just killed his car, and Phil Parker, luckily, it's okay. Well, if the lights go out this time, I think we have a lap car though, so this race is pretty much over. Unless the lights go off when we come around to set up a 1-lap shootout, but I don't think that's happening. But if it does, it'll be crazy. We're going to see what the pace car does. Do the lights go off? Will we have a 1-lap dash? We're going to have a 1-lap dash. Andy Thomas is going to have to hold off John Gilbert for 1 lap. Around Hillside, around Boston. Eli Bright has stopped his race car, or not Eli, Cynthia Bright, excuse me, has stopped her race car after it crashed, drove it back to pit road, and has stopped it in John Gilbert's pit box. So I don't know, it's a little bit of heat right there, and I mean there's a reason for it. Gilbert put the bumper to the 88 car. ERL officials have now told Cynthia Bright to move the car, and she has drove to the garage area. Don't worry about the 7, that's a damage glitch. Green flag and the white in the air. Green and white flag in the air. Ooh, that was a really late one. It's it, and Annie Thomas is gone. A late green flag come out. Into 3 and 4. I think we still got it right. Annie Thomas is coming around and will repeat at Boston. Back-to-back wins. I think Annie Thomas loves Boston. As the 60 Ford EcoBoost Ford is going back to victory lane in the Sportsman Series. They're telling the 41 to stay on the racetrack to avoid conflict with the 88 car. Annie Thomas is going to drive around here, go get the checkered flag. As Annie Thomas goes back to back at Hillside. Here's your top 15: Annie Thomas, John Gilbert, Alan Matthews, Eric Rodriguez, Ash Curtis, Dylan Schwellenberg, Luis Hernandez, Eric Monaco, Rick Johnson, Joel Murphy, Ryan Monaco, James Shelley, Stephen Thompson, Michael Haas, and Sam Curtis. That is your top 15, and then after that, here's the rest of your finishing order. Great racing, great turn of events here tonight. Annie Thomas goes back to back wins here at Hillside. Last season battled with Cliff Williams. This season battled with John Gilbert. We'll see you guys next week from Texas World. Till we meet again, everybody.